What can you say about a movie that's perfect, except that it's perfect? Movies about movies. Number 9, and VEDA, number 5. Number 5. Singin' in the Rain is the MGM musical for people who just don't care much for MGM musicals. Also for people who adore them. It's a dance movie for people who don't much like dancing, and at the same time it's also the dance movie that dancers and choreographers go to school on every day. It is, I believe, the high point in the history of a complex, collaborative art form. Musicals were never this good before and have never been this good since. Maybe bits of other musicals might be better than bits in Singin' in the Rain, but taken as a whole package, I don't think there's anything that comes close, and nothing ever will. Because the conditions that made Singin' in the Rain possible just don't exist anymore. If you have time in your life to watch only one musical, this is the one. I'm done. No, I'm not. Singin' in the Rain is also a movie for people who love movies, because it's about movies. Charlie Chaplin loved it. Francois Truffaut loved it. Baz Luhrmann loves it. Daniel J. Layton loves it. Need I go further? Mickeleh loves it. Singin' in the Rain was written backwards from the way most musicals are written. Usually you start with a story, figure out what parts need to be sung and danced, and then you go write the songs. In this case, however, the project started with a powerful producer at MGM named Arthur Freed, who, it happens, started his career as a songwriter. The song catalog of Arthur Freed and Nacio Herb Brown was the first ingredient. Freed called in two very smart writers from New York, Betty Comden and Adolph Green. They had already written a couple of pictures at MGM. They'd written songs in a Broadway musical with Leonard Bernstein. Freed gave them the assignment, write a picture using my songs. And the name of the picture has to be Singin' in the Rain, one of his songs. Comden and Green have said that it took them a long time to figure out how to approach the assignment. What kind of a story would fit those songs? And then they cracked the puzzle. Since most of those songs date from the earliest days of talking pictures, why not set the movie in that period? Make it an inside Hollywood story. Make it about the disruption of an industry through new technology. And one more thing, and I think this is crucial. Comden and Green decided from the outset that it ought to be a comedy, a spoof of the industry. Most musicals are sappy. This one is not sappy. I think that's the second, third, fourth, and fifth ingredients. Two great writers, a brilliant idea, and a tone. The tone, comedy. One of the reasons this movie refuses to age. Sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth ingredients. Gene Kelly, the dancer. Gene Kelly, the actor. Gene Kelly, the choreographer. And Gene Kelly, the director. As a dancer, Kelly had a unique ability to make dancing seem as natural and effortless as walking. No matter how athletic he got, he was just that guy. As an actor, he had the ability to make dancing express whatever emotional truth his character was feeling. As a choreographer, he always served the story and generously showcased his dancing partners. And as a director, he knew how to film musical numbers. Long takes, wide shots so you can actually see the dancing. This has gone out of fashion. Adam Shankman has said nobody shoots that way anymore because of a very simple reason. Nobody can afford the rehearsal time anymore to get the dancing perfect. They're forced to cut to hide the mistakes. In directing and choreography, Kelly worked in partnership with Stanley Donen. He would be the ninth ingredient. Gene in front of the lens, Stanley behind. This was a collaboration that clicked. The two consulted on everything. Kelly made a brilliant call to bring in his second top male dancer, Donald O'Connor. So that would be ingredient number 10. It's strange you don't see that very often in a musical. I mean, there's always a best friend or a sidekick for the lead, but how often is it another dancer? I can't think of another film with two male dance leads. If you know one, let me know. The dance duets with Kelly and O'Connor are among the many gems in Singin' in the Rain. I defy anyone to watch Fit as a Fiddle or Moses Supposes without being flooded with joy. And then there are the two solo numbers, Donald O'Connor's Make 'Em Laugh, which will make you laugh, and Gene Kelly's Singin' in the Rain, which I'll wager you've seen even if you've never seen the whole movie. That number has taken on a life of its own as a clip. This is not virtuoso dancing compared to what we know Gene Kelly is capable of. It's kind of subdued. But as a bit of storytelling, as a joyous expression of what the character is feeling, nothing on film can touch it. It's the emotional honesty of that number that makes it immortal. On to the women. 3 more amazing performances, 3 more amazing performers. Debbie Reynolds, still a teenager, no dance background at all, but she was a gymnast. Clearly a hard worker, quick study. Reynolds, O'Connor, and Kelly do a song and dance together, moving all through a house from room to room, up and down stairs, on, over, and behind furniture. Ingenious choreography, perfect fluid camera work, and performances that make the intricate and dangerous moves look effortless and fun. I can't begin to imagine the training and rehearsal time that Debbie Reynolds must have put in. she not only stays up with, but keeps in perfect sync with these veteran hoofers. And then there's Jean Hagen as Lena Lamont. If this film has a villain, it's Lena Lamont, but she's one of the funniest villains ever filmed. And that voice, in case you haven't heard it, I will say no more. Lena Lamont is blonde, beautiful, dim, and vicious. And finally, Sid Charisse. There's an extended ballet in the film, frankly feels a little bolted on, an indulgence that's there simply because it was something Gene Kelly wanted. Sid Charisse was MGM's resident ballet star at the time, and she's featured in the number. Watching Kelly and Charisse work together is a pinnacle of brilliant partnering. I don't know enough about dance to know half why it works so well, but it does. And then there's this technical miracle within the ballet that defies understanding. The scarf dance. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know how it's done. There's a lavish richness to the film, color, design, costume, and sets. It's the hallmark of MGM at the height of its powers. The story of Singin' in the Rain depicts an inflection point in the history of cinema, the end of the silent era and the coming of sound. Ironically, it was made at another inflection point when the old studio system was on the brink of decline. Studios had just been forced to give up ownership of their movie theaters in this country, and television was stealing the audience. Louis B. Mayer, who was the founder and the second M of MGM, was about to be fired after 25 years running the studio. As an artifact of what was once possible when a brilliant creative team had the resources and support of a working dream factory, Singin' in the Rain remains something we will have and cherish forever. Until next time, I'm Mickeleh. DVD extras. The really hard part of filming the Singin' in the Rain number wasn't the singing or the dancing. It was the raining. I mean, the technical side of that number is often overlooked. The set, the pipes, the plumbing, the lighting that makes it possible to even see the rain. And strategically digging the puddles in the right places so Gene Kelly could splash. That was the hard part. Well, that and the flu. Filming took place over 2 days when Gene Kelly was sick with a 103-degree fever. You'd never know. Between takes, he left the set to warm up in the California sun. I knew I was going to get to Singin' in the Rain eventually in this series. You can't do movies about movies without it. But I moved it up quickly after I heard Daniel J. Layton talking about it in Paul Neafcy's series, YouTube Movie Deal. I'll link to that in the bubble. Oh, look, I'm in the bubble. Here's Neafcy and Dan. The YouTube Movie Deal. Neafcy sits down with his favorite YouTubers, many of them who are also mine, maybe yours. They talk about movies at length. The episodes run about a half hour. What makes it work is that it's not just talking about the movies, but how the movies affect people. I love that series. Here's my playlist for movies about movies. I love this series too. Bye now.